I'm going to live because of faith. I'm going to live through faith. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. Somebody hold my coat here. I'm going to live through faith. Oh, praise God. I can't help. Listen, didn't I tell you the other day, if God provided for 3 million people for 40 years, their feet didn't swell, their shoes didn't wear out, and God provided for them for 40 years, what makes you think that God is rolling over playing dead at a time like this? The Bible said the eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous and his ears are open till they cry. And I want you to know that I'm just God's Western Union boy. I just left the Western Union office. I got another telegram. You may be too hurt to read it, you may be too hurt to see it, and you may be trying to read it through tear-stained eyes, but I'll read it for you. The just shall live. Hallelujah. They're going to live, hallelujah to God, they're going to live through faith. Now we've got testimonies. If we didn't have testimonies, then I wouldn't have the faith to believe this. But the just has lived through the water, and the just has lived through the flood. Just has lived through the fire, and just has lived through the blood. They have lived through great sorrow, and we've got testimonies of such. They lived through the water. If you don't believe it, ask Moses. When Israel crossed the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army was behind them, the Red Sea yielded from 75 to 100 feet high, and the Red Sea divided 12 miles wide, and the water stood up like jello in a mold, and Israel walked across Goshen, saw through the water. They've lived through the water. When they got ready to cross Jordan, they lived through Jordan. For when the borders of the priest's garment touched Jordan, chilly Jordan divided. Oh, muddy Jordan divided. So the just has lived through the water, and the just has lived through the flood. If you don't believe it, ask Brother Noah. During the antediluvian world, when the rain began to fall and the fountains of the deep broke loose and water came up from the ground and the whole ark began to float in the midst of the flood, when the wicked was dying, the just was living through the flood. Yes, the just has lived through the fire. If you don't believe me, ask the Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They've lived through the fire. They were thrown in the fire. Now you can take it for what it's worth, but in the missing books of the Bible, and I don't too much go with the missing books of the Bible, if we can live up to the books that's found, I think we're doing wonderful. But in one of the missing books of the Bible, they call it the Song of the Hebrew Children, and it's not hard to believe, for if they were able to tell King Nebuchadnezzar, we're not careful to answer you in this manner, but if it be so, our God whom we serve is able. If they were able to say that, it's not hard to believe that they went in the fire singing. For in one of the missing books of the Bible, they said the Song of the Hebrew Children, they went in the furnace singing. That's not hard to believe. Now I don't know if they did sing, but if they did sing, I imagine their song was He's able. He's able. While they were in the fire, He's able. Faith will get you in trouble, but faith will bring you out. Say yeah, yeah. The just shall live. They've lived through the blood. They've been through blood. Just sailed through bloody seas, but they lived through the blood. I heard John the Revelator. He heard souls under the altar crying, how long, faithful and true, does thou avenge our blood upon them that dwell on the earth? And white robes was given them that they would rest for a season. The just has lived through the blood. They have lived through great sorrow. David went through great sorrow when his son Absalom had robbed the hearts of the people and turned their hearts from him. When David had got this courage, when it looked like he couldn't get I heard him in the 55th Psalm when he said, oh, that I have the wings of a dove, for then would I fly away somewhere to be at rest. My soul would hasten its escape. My soul would take its flight. But the just has lived through great sorrow. The just has lived through famine. Through famine, he's brought the just out when women were starving and bawling and cooking their children. He's brought them through the famine. For Elisha said to the widow woman, the meal shall not waste in the midst of the famine. The cruse of oil shall not fail till God send rain on the earth. In the midst of the famine, Elijah was drinking water by the brook, and the raven was bringing him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meet in the evening. Yes, the just has lived through desertion. Even though they've been deserted, the just has made it all right. For I heard David said, when my father and my mother forsake me, the Lord will take me up. You don't have to worry if your mother don't love you. You don't have to worry if your father don't want to own you. He don't want to support his family, don't want to show his responsibility. You're looked upon as an outcast. You're looked upon as an orphan boy. They don't like you because you're ugly. They don't like you because you're deformed. They don't like you because of the way your head is shaped. But don't worry, the just shall live. The just shall live. When my mother and my father forsake me, that's all right. The Lord will. He'll take me. I believe God. You're listening to this message. There's a storm in your life. There's a storm in your home. There's a storm in your mind. You're talking about secret storms. Some of these storms are not a secret. Everybody know about it. But the just shall live through the storm. Through the storm. When the billows get through raging, when the tide get through sweeping, when the flood get through clapping their hands, the just shall live. When the clouds get through hanging low, the just shall live. They've lived not only in sorrow, not only in shipwreck, but they've lived through death. They've lived through death. Yes, they have. If you don't believe it, ask Brother David. He said, I tasted of death. And that's why in the 23rd Psalm, he said, yea, though I walk through the valley and the shadows of death, I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. They've lived through death. I want to close here. I want those of you tonight that's going through the things we've mentioned. The Lord told me to tell you, if you hang in there, you're going to make it.